Here is another Lady Nellie, Mount Shasta, California, volcanic glass, likely Clovis, Paleo Story Stone Effigy that is absolutely beautifully worked. And it's made out of multicolored glass. Now, most volcanic glass is unicolor. It's just one color. Two-color glass is a little rarer. Three-color glass is extremely rare. And this is four colors. This has your orangish color here, your clear, your red, and your blue. That is extremely rare. This was a highly prized piece of glass that the Clovis Indians came upon and made this beautiful story stone effigy. These percussion flakes here, this one here and this one here, these two big gouges, these two percussion flakes were done very deliberately, very intentionally to form the eye, the slanted type evil looking eye of the older face now looking off to the right. And the nose on that face has been beautifully pressure flaked around the perimeter to form the imagery. And the perimeter has also been ground just as they did Clovis points. Now, this glass was so special to our Paleo Indian friends that they did not make spear points or knives out of these. They did not make any utilitarian wear out of them at all. All this was reserved for nothing more than these, what I call Paleo Story Stone face and mammoth effigies. And I'm sure this is a Clovis site. I acquired this from the woman who acquired it from the finder, Lady Nellie Thompson. Back in the 1960s, she found these on her property, and she sold a majority of her collection to one individual whom I purchased my samples from, my examples from. And they didn't know that these were flaked, for example. They thought nature did all that. They didn't know they were flaked, and they didn't know that they were Indian artifacts. They just thought they were nature-made glass. They called it Andara glass, and it's been sold on the market for years. But nobody did any scientific testing on it to see what this glass is all about. And I have tested it now with the University of Stephen, Austin, Texas, in their geology department. They ran an XRF, X-ray fluorescence testing on 3 of the examples and have determined that this is naturally occurring glass. Dr. Michael Gramley has also run independent XRF testing on these examples as well, on this glass as well, and has found conclusively that it is naturally occurring glass and is not slag glass as previously thought. It's just that nobody did their homework on it. Nobody ever did scientific testing on it. Now, this is a wonderful face with a big eye, nose, and the mouth has been beautifully percussion flaked there as well. And there is etching on this for the hair of the head, top of the head of the faces, and also the mammoth imagery. But we have that big eye, nose, mouth, and then we have another eye right here, a smaller eye. If we just use this big chip out of here, now we have another face with this just the eye, the nose, and the mouth, open mouth, looking off to the right. Now that face is looking off to the left now. When we turn it upside down, now we have the younger faces. This flake has been deliberately flaked here as the eye of the younger face with the nose and the mouth down here of the younger face looking off to the left, open mouth. And there's another face as well, and that is right here. This has been flaked intentionally right there to form an eye here and a nose and a mouth of another young face there. So we have one face on top of another face, both young faces facing off to the left. Now when we turn it this way, we have a great mammoth image right there. This is the trunk of a mature mammoth with its hair tuft above its head. So that mammoth now is facing right. You can see a good image of the more of the flake side, and that's the mammoth facing left. And we hold it this way, it's a great image of a baby mammoth with his little baby trunk here, hair tuft above the head, and big exaggerated eyes as you would often see imaging a baby mammoth. I believe the eye of the mammoth is like the eye of the human, that they're born with an eye that doesn't get any bigger. It's as big at birth as it is when they're fully mature. And so their eyes look bigger when they're juveniles, when they're infants. And then we have another mammoth look this way, with the baby mammoth trunk off to the left. We have another mammoth here with the mammoth trunk up on the right-hand side here, facing right. And now facing left. And I believe these are all Clovis, because these Clovis cache blades were part of Lady Nellie's discovery, her find. And what we have here is a beautiful Clovis cache blade here. It's been beautifully flaked on this side, and it's extremely well patinated, as you can see. These have all been washed with soap and water, but this is just heavily patinated piece for being in the ground for over 12,000 years. And that is beautiful Clovis workmanship, beautiful Clovis flaking right there. Outstanding Clovis flaking. And we have a mammoth here. When they unifacially flaked this off of a larger piece, this bubble now becomes a hole in the glass. And that's the eye of the mammoth with its trunk right there. It's been ground. The edges have been ground on these, just like in Clovis points. So we have a very highly patinated, beautiful, beautiful mammoth effigy. And these were made to stand up. They were made to stand upright. And then we have the eye of the face, the nose and mouth of the face looking up from the back of the mammoth. So just an outstanding, this one's also etched for the hair. When you look at the face here, there's an eye here, a nose and a mouth, and then there's the hair that's been etched right there. And again, this is a very well patinated, heavily patinated Clovis biface is what it is, but they were made as effigies. They didn't use this stone for making anything but effigies. And here, a 13.5-inch Clovis preform. I have preforms just the same exact shape of this that I found on the surface of the Calico Hills. And this, I have a video of it on the internet already, but this is another Story Stone effigy, but it's also a Clovis preform, another cache blade. This one also from Mount Shasta, California. The Lady Nellie cache. This volcanic glass comes from all around the world. I have video links on my website here that link up to current mining operations where they're mining it out of lava flows in China. I also have purchased it from the finders of this glass in Arizona. They've been finding it in dry volcanic creek beds. It also comes from China. And it also comes from, well, as I mentioned, China. It also comes from Indonesia. Indonesia is a large area there of volcanic activity, and there are a number of paleo offering fields where these beautiful effigies have been flaked and left as offerings worldwide. But the Mount Shasta examples are some of the finest examples that I've ever seen. Mount Shasta, Lady Nellie, Paleo Story Stone face, and Mammoth effigy.